This is High Noon and welcome. Are you prepared to draw? I hope so. And I don't mean any of that liver lizzy gun slinging stuff. And I don't mean any of that arty stuff. I'm here to do that. You all will just draw together, become family, friends, help each other, support each other, all that stuff. This is a place to have a good old time, friends and frolic, and all that stuff. Okay? This is it.
Hey everybody, hold on a few seconds. I forgot to go to Restream to set things up. So I just need to... Oh, we got the wrong thing up here for title and all that. So, yeah, a moment or two to get this all together. And of course, we need to share it out. Which we are doing as of this moment. And then we'll get on to Bible story of the day, week. We're actually going to just... I got to start reading some of this stuff beforehand. That way, no. So I'm going to go something a little familiar. I'm going to go back to the beginning. So in the beginning, we're going to go to Genesis 1:1. And turn me down a little more. Okay, so then, well, that's done. Okay, so there we go. Hey, Space Galleria, how are you? Long time no see. Glad you could stop by. Doing well, happy to be here. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, if I remember, you said a while ago you moved from where you were to a different location. Well, how are you? Well, you said you're doing good, doing well. You still doing the artist shop in the new place? Hey, Pat Owen. Yes, Merry Christmas to you too. So, just got a bit of a toothache here, or gum ache. Yeah, I'm kind of trying hard to be inspired. Yeah, all the crap that's going around. Well, so yeah, today is our Bible story day. We're gonna try and draw it as we go along. I don't want a pencil. You guys can't see pencil. As I was saying earlier, starting in Genesis. Well, yeah, I did, but mine was not this past weekend, Pat. Mine was a month ago. In Canada, we have it in October. I think the third weekend in October. So let's see. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. I don't know how you do heavens. Show it. Space. Space gallery is like, speaking of teeth, dentist removed 4 of my front teeth. I had so bad I made a t-shirt with my ugly mug on it. Cool. But the earth was formless and empty or void. Now I'm not sure what that would mean. Maybe it was just not full of life. Oh, sorry. Oh, no problem. No reason to be sorry about anything. But yeah, I did have a good Thanksgiving. It was just a month earlier than what you're thinking. uh, and God's spirit was hovering over the waters. Now, I'm not sure what that means. But then God said, "Let there be light." with that, he said, light equals day, darkness equals night. And now we've invented terms for even more parts of the day. In fact, we call a 24-hour period a day, when part of that 24-hour period is darkness. So our days include nights. But I'm not really sure what that has to do with much. I'm just commenting. So yeah, it says then there was evening and morning, and that was the first day. It's all dark in space. True. Well, till you get to another planet and get on it, then you might have some light. Depending on what's going on that planet, too. Then again, you probably get a lot of light if you're right near the sun, although I wouldn't suggest doing that because, just be a little toasty. Okay, maybe a lot toasty. Atmospheres are making stuff up. Yeah. So then he said, I got the NIV here. I'm gonna switch over to the King James for this. I like it a little better. Love your show. I'll just watch. Yeah, no problem. Watch, participate, talk. So God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of water," which is basically some sort of barrier. From what I know, so you had a firmament around the earth. And he called the firmament heaven. So I guess it's more than just a barrier. Heaven. Although technically there are three words that translate heaven from the Hebrew. One means our atmosphere, one means outer space, and one means God's throne room. Is this lib? I'm not sure what you mean, Pat. So yeah, the firmament, God made the firmament which divided the waters which were under the firmament from the dividers which were above, which is probably basically, our atmosphere versus outer space. Oh, what? And so God, okay, we've done enough today. And he said the evening and the morning were the second day. What do you sorry about that. I just want to know what you're talking about. Okay, so anyways, so we're on the third day, and God said, "Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together in one place." So and let the dry land appear. So I'm not sure how that would look. So I'm just making, not sure where I should put the water and where I should put that land. Now things obviously look different from when this was first created because, we've had, according to scripture, we had the flood, which would have changed things dramatically. And then, like I said, he called us. And herb yielding seed. Although pumpkin's not really a herb. Early geography, one landmass, love it. Tectonic plates and such. Yeah, well, I'm not sure. It could have been one massive thing. I know that we're taught, Pangea and all that in school. But they shrink, when they show that, they shrink a lot of the, they shrink a lot of stuff and all that to make things work for that. But, if you look at some of the fault lines that are in the ocean, they almost pattern the shape of things. The shape of the coastlines. This would, I'd probably get to this later on, but so this more goes with Noah's thing with the depths. How's it word? The flood, because something of the deep was broken open, so there was water underneath the surface of the earth, and that came out too. So that was part of the flood. It wasn't just the 40 days of rain. So yeah, we got all sorts of seeds. We got your plants, your trees now. And he said, whose seed is in itself. So, trees have their apples, and the seed for an apple tree is in the apple. So an apple falls down, rolls a bit away, gets covered over.
Fountains.
The fountains of the deep. There, my mom. And thus, you'll have a new tree with it getting buried, most likely, and broken open. And God saw that all this was good. My dad is named Herbert. Cool. So, the evening and the morning were the third day. So we've got 3 days under our belt now. You're an herb seed then. So although we have light, it's not till this fourth day that actually And God said, let there be lights in the firmament. So basically our stars, or what we consider stars, which are most likely other suns from what we know, due to trying to look out throughout the galaxy and the universe. And he gave them to be signs for seasons and days and years. But then he made two great lights. The one that we know, the main one that we know, the sun. One to rule the day and one to rule the night. And the other smaller one we call the moon. You got Mr. Happy Sun and you got the man in the moon. The man in the moon and I don't know what. And the light was supposed to give upon the firmament, earth. And God saw that it was good. And evening and morning were the fourth day. And so on the next day, God said, let forth the waters, bring forth abundantly moving creatures. So I guess then you got whales coming to be. You got the itty bitty fishes. You got the lobsters. Crabs. All those things. Some good eating. Yeah, you're a good storyteller. Thanks. Yeah. Well, I'm not sure about gators, but I would say sharks for sure. There's some that I'm not sure which day they would have came forth. Because I think gators could be considered land animals as well as they could possibly can be considered water creatures. So, and then also on that day too would have been, like Nessie type creatures, plesiosaurs too. So, everything had to have been created on the same day, right? Or well, not the same day, but You know, if he's creating everything at this one time, then all these things had to be there. But then again, I guess a plesiosaur, sunset could go on land, but they live in water mainly, so.
Plesiosaurus.
Yeah, that's what I said.
And don't forget Leviathan.
Yeah. Well, again, don't know which day. Yeah. I don't know. Gators are nice. The thing too is, we'll get to this in a second too. Amphibious Rick. Hey, Evan, how are you? So, also on the fifth day, we have, it said, in the air, let forth also the fowl that may fly above the earth in the open, in the firmament of heaven. So, now suddenly you've got birds in the air, all our different types of birds. You got your pigeons. Where's my bird stamp when I need it? Hi. How about yourself? I am good, Evan. So every sort of bird that you can think of. Now, maybe that means for some of these, like maybe you have a bee. The bees created on that day too. You know, they're flying creatures, right? Maybe even your mosquitoes, because they're flying creatures. You know, like, so everything you can think of. Eagles. Toucans. Pterodactyls. Not sure what. Platypus is a. I think a platypus is a sea creature, so yeah, it would have been created on day 5, but you know, in the water. So you know, I'm trying to create a bunch of different type of birds. I'm trying to think what else what we consider flies besides birds. Birds. That's probably. Well, and for those that don't know, I now have a Webtoons account. If people want, there should be a link in the description. If people want to go sign up for that, I'm doing little shorts for the Cross Comics universe. Oh, bats. Hey, Raggedy. Superman was going to be mine. 16 of them committed Sudoku in 1 year. I don't think pterosaurs. Yeah, well, I said, well, sort of. I didn't say pterosaur, but I said pterodactyls. I don't think it's Sudoku that they created. Sudoku is that numbers game. Crosswords. Superman. But I like the Superman. So yeah, so I think that well, there's lots of obviously different kinds of birds, fowl. Things did not go afoul that day, or did they? And he told all the creatures of the sea and all the creatures of the air to be fruitful and multiply, to fill the waters in the seas, and let the fowl multiply in the earth. In other words, they made themselves a lot of babies. Hirokiki, yeah. And the babies grew up and had babies. So you start having a lot of things, babies. Also, another little thing, touching on the reptile thing with gators, there's something. Reptiles never stop growing. So, you know, you get a 1,000-year, 2,000-year-old reptile. I wonder how big it would be. But anyways, God saw that this was good, and he said, and the evening and the morning were the 5th day. Sudoku on the windows. It's hilarious. Harry Carey. Yeah, that's what it is. Harry Carey. That, so, the next day, he says, let the earth bring forth the living creatures after its kind. So, you know, now maybe you have crocodiles. You have cattle, bulls, you have dogs, you have cats, Rick, tell me about Gillard Stone. I didn't say he stole my characters. What else would you have? Well, you'd have, you know, cows. Anything that's something. Of course, you'd have something that's going to be intricate to this story in a bit. You'd have snakes. For these chain of events. Yes, Mother?
What about dragons?
Well,
T-Rex.
Yeah, well, I'm getting to that. I did say lizards growing to enormous size. Or I alluded to it, anyways. So, as my mom said, also, you know, like this day, you'd probably have Brachiosauruses, which could possibly have been, I think, Behemoth. Tell me about Bullet narrating. It was so yeah, any living creature that you can think of that isn't a water creature or an air creature, but that is a land creature, was created at that point. So maybe, like bees were created possibly on day 5. I would think ants would have been created on day 6. But he had done this. I like dinosaurs. So do I. I also like giving God the credit for his creation. Dinosaurs. Where's Bigfoot? I don't know, Raggedy. I won't deny Bigfoot's existence. I just don't know what it is for sure. Where is the abominable snowman? Well, that's just an albino Bigfoot. Space Galleria. But now, God is saying, let us... Oh, sorry. Where do flying fish fit in? Well, where do they fit in? I would most likely say the water. But since they're possibly flying fish, they don't live out in the air all the time. They just jump out and fly for a bit and come back in the water. So I would generally say in the water. But still, that would be day 5, no matter which way you look at it. Raggedy. Where a crocodile or alligator, which seem to go both, or maybe some amphibian characters that do both water and land, could be either or. They could have been created on the 5th or the 6th. And Vulcans. Well, they're another planet, so I have no idea how they come into play, Raggedy. Crocs are mostly land, gators are mostly water. Okay, well, maybe God created a land version and a water version of the same type of animal. Although I don't think they could interbreed, but then again, God did give a little bit of adaptability, or a fair bit of adaptability. Not so much in that another creature could become a totally different creature other than itself. But so, anyways, we're down to the thing where God, he takes some dirt and he starts forming the dirt. Now we're going to keep this PG so we're not putting any Crocs and socks. Crocs with socks on? I don't think they'd last long. So yeah, we got man being created from the dust of the earth in God's image. And you know what? He was probably the best looking guy ever. You know, why are you censoring the Bible, Rick? What do you mean? I'm not censoring the Bible. I'm censoring my drawing. It's generally frowned upon to combine the two. Combine what? What? Oh, socks and Crocs. Crocs are shoes. Oh, Crocs isn't shoes. Oh yeah, the Crocs and socks, comfort and dweebiness, all in one. Mallet does it. Who cares about general being frowned upon? One life to live. Get comfy. So yeah, now we got man just laying there, created in the image of God. He took the time with this one, I'd say. Oh, my face on this one does not look good. And then God does something that he hasn't done with any other creature that he created. Oh yeah, I have no one to impress. Says that, and that is breathe the breath of life. Life. I know this more looks like exhaling, but I'm trying to make it look like going in. Making man a living soul. I think it says. And the man was given dominion over everything. Over the fishies. Over the land creatures. Over the blades. basically everything he was given thing created over. Had dominion over. And although we know during this time, or shortly after this time, hey John, how are you? What is this? Me trying to tell the story of creation for my Bible story of the week. So I'm going to combine a bit of chapter 2 in here at this point. So God puts Adam to sleep. This is the first operation ever, people. The first operation ever. And it's performed by God. So God puts Adam to sleep. He looks so like heaven. So, you know, there's your anesthetic, you know. Like we put people to sleep before operating them on today. God put him to sleep before operating on him. Hey, God showed you the way to do an operation. Yeah, put them to sleep before you open them up. So then he cuts them open somewhere here and then takes out a rib. And out of this rib, where does the soul reside? Brain, belly, spinal cord, cells. I've been wondering. No one can probably say for sure. I will say, now we do, in Greek, the word soul is translated mind, so it could be in the mind, could not. During the soul is your sinuses. So with this rib, God probably creates the most beautiful looking woman that has ever been created. You know, why shouldn't the first be the most beautiful? I'm free. Okay, this is very badly drawn. John's gonna scold me now. Oh, and if anybody's interested, probably January I'm doing a coloring book. I've got a pre-launch campaign set up on Indiegogo for Cross Columns coloring book. If anybody wants to check that out or sign up, I'm probably going to give some freebie with it for anybody who signs up ahead of time. I don't know what yet. So, let's see. if she contains all the genetics for every race and culture on Earth, she is likely hideous. Well, you got to remember, John, there's been some degradation in the genetic code due to, I would say, sin entering the body. So yes, God created them. She's just a big lady. Yeah, so God created them. Male. The degradation of genetic code due to sin. I'll need a reference for that. Are you slamming minorities? No. My mom has a theory, and I'm not sure how true it is, that Adam could have possibly been black because he was created from the dust of the earth. Bones are white, usually, or pinkish, whatever you want to say. And thus, Eve being created from that, she could have been white. Now, it's a theory at best. She has no proof for it and all that. And degradation of code doesn't have anything to do. What is it they say? The chemical that's more in black people for the pigment of their skin. The melanin. Yeah, melanin is real. I'm not denying that at all, Space. That could have been where it came from, or could have been just adapted. Like I said, God made things adaptable, and that could have been probably part of, one of the human adaptations to, put that in. And as for dust is not black. Well, it's brown, or depending on how far you go down, some of the soil is black, John. I don't know where. Like I said, it's only a theory. It's not like she's going around preaching it as gospel. This theory is bonkers. But as for the degradation, we know sin had an effect over things. Everything breaks down now because of sin. It wasn't meant to be that way. We'll get probably to that in a couple minutes. So, I'm just quickly trying to create wrenches, dang, dealer. Don't throw them. So yeah, God made the male and female. He told them to, gave them dominion over all the creatures. He told them to be fruitful and multiply. Basically, get busy and have kids. And, eat every green herb for meat. So, most likely this time, they were just eating whatever the trees or the land produced. Did you make up this story? It sounds derivative. What story? This is a bad idea for a comic. What is a bad idea for a comic? So, it has been the 6 days. And God said that it was good. Actually, very good. Come on, Rick, catch up, love. So, the evening and the morning were the 6th day. And with everything being created that had been created at this point, God decided to rest. The story about God creating Adam and Eve, it sounds a lot like the story from the Bible. Stop stealing. Not stealing ideas. I'm telling an event from history. I'm trying to draw it the best I can, as quickly as I can, and keep things going. So, we have God resting on the 7th day. Actually, you know what? You don't have to sleep to rest. So maybe God's just sit back, legs spread out, arm on the thing, having something to drink. Resting. I'm going to get busy with that day 2 stuff. What, creating? Creating the planets? I don't even... What's that day 2? What was day 2 again? Creating a firmament? Dividing the waters from the waters? Shoot, was I not paying attention? I think that's day 4. Space. Canadian 2 took a weird twist. Oh, give me Steve. Okay, my bad. Okay, so well, God then put them in this garden. Well, I may not start over Space, but you can go back to the beginning. So he put them in this garden, and there were 2 trees. He said, you know, you can eat everything that you see, except, you know, you put this one tree in the middle of the garden. I think it says in the midst of the garden. Just a copyright claim. Well, we do know that the King James Bible is public domain, right? But this one tree, it was basically, he said, don't eat from it. It's the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Not that they wouldn't necessarily know what that meant. It was no. But there was also another tree in the garden. The tree of life. And then it tells you where the Garden of Eden is, sort of, according to things in that day and age before the flood. About 4 rivers coming out of it. So, though, since we've had the flood, I doubt the topography, the geography, anyways, would be a lot different with the flood. So, trying to find it based on the rivers that are mentioned, I think just somebody renamed a river the Tigris or whatever, and they're Euphrates. But God sent all the animals by Adam. So, and Adam got to say, name them all. He's like, hippopotamus, rhinoceros, platypus. Actually, the thing is, I doubt a lot of these names would have been what he named them. Cat, dog. Because we've found them after, sometimes years later, hundreds of years later, and we didn't know they exist. So, and we've renamed them. I doubt some of these are the same names as what Adam would have named them originally. Are we stealing characters from God now? No, these are historical characters. You can't steal historical characters. They're public domain. Likeness. I'm not sure what you mean by likeness. Space. So, yeah, I'm not sure how long it took Adam to name all these creatures. Some people want to say he did it in a day, but I think it took him a couple days. Or more. If God created everything and it's all historical characters, I can make the Canadian Shield books go free. But no, the Bible and everybody in it is historical characters. God just a copy. The Canadian Shield is not as an hysterical character, and he was just created 30 years ago. Rick, you came from the Bible. Not really. Well, yes and no, and the fact that, that because of Adam and me created, they had kids and da 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 da. That way, yes. Okay, later, Space. Have a good day. God bless. But also, I forgot to say, I forgot to put in my joke earlier when adding in the creation of a woman. Adam wakes up from his sleep. He sees her. He says, "Bone, my bones, flesh of my flesh." Whoa, man! I guess that's what you call a woman. Because you are. Whoa, man! You so good. Okay. Rick, it's good to see you on here without those other guys riding your coattails. Okay, so, anyways, a man shall leave his father and mother to cleave unto his wife, and they shall become one flesh. And they were both naked, and they were not ashamed. However, there was a crafty little beast out in the fields in this garden, and he staked his spot on the tree that would be known as the tree of good and evil. Who is this crafty creature? That, of course, is the one, the only, the snake. And Eve was just passing by one day. Is this how the Cabal teaches it? Is this, whatever the World Tree, Rick? I don't think so. Rick. Oh, yes, I read that. So, yeah. I doubt it's the World Tree. So, yeah, Eve's just passing by, and the snake's just hanging around there on the thing. And as she's walking by, the snake, says, "Hey, good looking." No, he doesn't say, "Hey, good looking." He says, "Yo, yo, yo, yo. Has God said that, you can eat of any tree? Has God not said that you cannot eat of every tree?" She's like, "We can eat of every tree except, this one." Okay. Oh, so it's not interesting or cool then. Well, the fact that this woman is, or person, woman, whatever, yeah, about to eat of it and, get thrown out of a garden, paradise. Rick made various stereotypes. He got close. Yes, but I was joking. The snake wouldn't have said that because she wouldn't have reacted to it either way. And the snake's like, hey, you're not going to die if you eat this. She's like, it does look good. You know what? I think I'll eat it. So, I'm pro. Right? I don't think I can support this stream. You mean that her basement wasn't flooded? Gotcha. And see right here, she's about to eat Adam out of house and home. And she's like, this was the best thing ever. So then she says, well, there's debate about how close Adam was or whatever to see all this happening. I don't think he was that close, personally. But anyway, she goes, why is he? I don't know. Because I'm a bad drawer. Where's Medusa? So she goes over, finds Adam. And I'm sure this fruit was unique. You would have known what it was to see it. That, I agree. I would agree. Is he here for Elliot? So she goes, finds Adam. And she tosses him. She gives the fruit to him. Like I said, I believe he would have known exactly what it was, but knowing what it was, he still ate it. Did you ever think that the fruit was information? Not really. A lot of ways I think it was information, but it wasn't information, not in the way that I think you mean. Because in the act that they disobeyed God, and in that act, information was, I guess, relayed in some way, shape, or form. Just disobeying God once altered things. it altered perception and all that. None of these people are wearing vests. I know, because they didn't do that sort of thing back in the garden. It's because now at this point they're looking at each other. And they're like, you're no based info. Gotcha. Yeah. Naked. Wait a minute. I know this story. This is the Matrix. Rick, black people are not snakes. No, they're not. So, with this, seeing that they were naked, here's how smart these guys are. They know how to sew, and nobody's ever taught them. Not that sewing's a big thing to learn, but, you know. Anyways, they sewed themselves together some fig leaves for, you know, undergarments or clothes. Well, undergarments are clothes, right? So. Nobody ever having made clothes before, these guys know how to do it almost instantly. They run the program. You know. So then, you know, they make themselves some fig leaf clothes. Then again, they haven't even done much up until this point. Well, I'm assuming, except for, you know, tending the garden. So yeah, make themselves some fig leaf clothes. And somehow they knew exactly which parts to cover, too. This reminds me of the Shadow radio show called She-Lister Payoff. Okay, I'm not sure. Shyster Payoff. So we assume, then again, we also assume what they covered too. They could have sewn a whole suit together, as far as we know. Not just, covering the zip private the parts. I don't know why I got E being bigger than Adam. Before this, they were meeting with God pretty much, I think, every day or every couple days or once a week or something like that. They were chatting it up with God. They had, a relationship with God. But, now that they've, eaten from the tree, they know they're naked. They know they disobeyed God. They know they're in big trouble. God comes down to commune with them in the garden. And, they end up hiding behind a bush. Probably masks and capes, I'd imagine. Sleeveless vests and trenches. Sure, if you want to. I won't stop you from imagining that. So they're hiding in a bush. What's up? Not much. Just going over the creation story. Any sorts? I doubt that. Maybe they didn't pay God the rent, so he kicked them out. That's sort of true, Bullet. The rent was not eating from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. So they didn't pay the rent of not eating from it. So yeah, they're hiding behind the bush. Yeah, but he gave it to them. He said, you have dominion over all the earth. He gave it to them. And their only rule was, don't eat from the tree. So they're hiding. God's out. He's saying, hey, Adam! Eve! He's calling out for them. Hey, where are you? This isn't like you to not be around. It was a setup. Why'd he put that tree there? I can't know for sure. I can't reckon, But then again, God doesn't want robots to worship him. Not that I would say they were worshiping him at that point. It's hard to say. But anyways, Adam and Eve came out. And they said, Adam's like, we're I don't know, a bit afraid because, like, we're naked. Yeah, but if they weren't working and hanging out naked all day. Actually, they wouldn't have been fornicating because they were married. Technically, God sort of arranged the marriage, and they were married as soon as he woke up, basically. Eating the food I put my name on the fridge would be the last draw. But actually, they were to tend the garden, so they were working. They tended the garden. I don't know what tending the garden would have consisted of, but one thing it consisted of is not eating from that tree. Let's see, sketchbook. Sort of Romans says that God imprisoned everyone in disobedience to show his mercy. Plus, with knowledge of good and evil, man could actually choose to serve God out of love, not by ordination. Yeah. So, like, they were afraid, like, we're naked. We didn't really want you to see us, like, in our nakedness. We're really ashamed of being naked. Sorry, God. Sorry we've been naked all this time. We'll do better next time. And God's like, who told you were naked? You shouldn't know that you're naked. You shouldn't care that you're naked. And God, and then Adam said, stop saying naked. Put my name on it. Told not to eat it. It was mine. I was saving. And Adam just basically says, yo, listen, God, it was her. It was the woman that you gave me. She gave me the food, and I ate. I'm not to blame here. It's you and the woman. They are the ones to blame. You and her are the ones to blame here, not me. I did nothing wrong. Let's see. Probably Evan says to say naked. Sketchbook says I couldn't fornicate because there wasn't anyone else to sleep with. So basically, it was in order to be fruitful and multiply. Hence, it was blessed by God. So they were, in a sense, married. Sure. Yeah. Oh, so he rather. So he rather. Nice. And then she's like, well, God, you see, yeah, I did. I ate the fruit. I ate from that tree, but, it wasn't completely my fault. You see, this here snake, he conned me. He was a Southern Belle. I don't know. Why does God have a pointed finger instead of a thumb? Well, that's not God. That's supposed to be Adam pointing towards Eve. Now Eve's pointing towards the sun. Serpent. He was probably not, since there were no Southern Belles back then. But I like to throw in different accents or whatever for whatever stupid reason, just to make it seem interesting. So then God says to the serpent, because you have done this, you are cursed above all cattle, above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shall, and dust thou shalt eat all the days of thy life. Oh, fair enough. That makes sense. Of course, Adam fingered. So, is that Barney? So, it's possible, if you read that with that verse, that before this point, serpents, snakes, usually what we consider serpents, might have had legs. I don't know how many or whatever, but because, they got cursed because of this, their legs are taken away, and now they gotta slither around. Of course, God wouldn't. This guy sounds like a jerk. What guy sounds like a jerk? What? No, not evolution, because it didn't happen by itself. Bullet. There was intervention by somebody else. That's not evolution. They could have had wings. Yeah, I guess could have been something that flew and took away the wings. So basically, at this point, now their punishment's basically sort of been dealt out. Well, the last little bit of punishment needs to be dealt out, and that's Adam and Eve leaving the garden, being kicked out. Earth is on the back of a turtle. Turtles are all the way down, Rick. Turtle power. Oh, what a horrible story. Leaving the gated community. I hope they took their keys. This God character has no arc. Adam and Eve don't learn anything. Well, I'm sure they learned something. It's a question what they... You should draw a man with a pie and a frog seeing them off. No, I'm not going to draw Ethan Van Sciver. Ethan Van Sciver is not God. Not even close to it. And in front of these gates, although probably Eden should be on the other side, or it could be on both sides, I guess. God did set up an angel to guard them. A cherubim, which is a type of angel. They learned the key party. You should. The serpent is punished for no reason. He deceived Adam and Eve. Well, technically, we believe it's the devil possessed this serpent. So maybe it's maybe it was punished because it allowed itself to be possessed. I don't know. There's obviously stuff that we don't completely know. They learned that God follows. Well, he is the creator of the universe. He is the creation. So, he does have the right and authority. He did give them a rule. They disobeyed. Or did he deceive them or open their eyes to the truth? Right? Well, I'd say deceive them. He conned them into eating, or her, for sure. And the devil tricked God. How did the devil trick God? The devil is a right proper ghost. This sounds like a ripoff of Pandora's Box. Actually, Pandora's Box is probably a ripoff of this. Wasn't God hiding the truth from them and keeping them in the hippie commune for his own ends? Well, let's see. Before this, they had a cushy job. They didn't have to do a lot. They could do probably almost anything they wanted without consequence. Actually, there was only one thing they couldn't do. That only one thing they could do that had consequence, and that was eat from the tree of good and evil. No, I'm not doing nothing. I'm just telling it how it was. The serpent is referring to the enemy and the actual creature. Remember, animals could actually communicate in the garden, like Balaam's donkey, which is why the serpent itself was also punished, says Sketchful. Yeah, I would agree that they could talk to them. And have some sort of understanding. You convince me, Rick. God isn't worth adore. Yes, he is. He's God. He's the creator of the universe. On Earth, you're right, Bullet. The CEO doesn't own the employees. But in this case, you're wrong. The CEO does, because he literally created them. It's like, does the CEO create his own product? Does the CEO own a robot he has created? So now they had to toil for a living. They actually had to really, really work. They had to go plant the seeds themselves. Well, I'm not sure how much at first. Because, there's two people, there's endless plants. Well, maybe not endless plants. Now, I don't endorse slavery. There's two of them. There's, like I said, lots of plants. Probably could go pick an apple or whatever is around easy enough. Figures God wouldn't give them a good reference to get them. Who are they going to get? Who are they going to give a reference to? They're the only two people around. And oh yeah, let's see, what would the reference be? They're thieves. Are you smarter than God? No, definitely not. Not even close. Hebrews indentured servitude that could only exist 7 years. Yeah, and that was only to pay off debts or stuff like that. And then land that they owned would come back to them, too. So I guess this next story is probably one for another day. I thought we would have got to it, but we didn't, which is Cain and Abel. He put good people out of work. God has debt. No, God doesn't have debt. Yes, Evan. I have a Bible question. Well, I'll answer to the best of my ability, as I usually do. Sketchbook. There are none good but God, for all have fallen short of the goodness of God. That's Romans. I forget where in Romans. Is there a sword of truth? And is it flaming? Sword of truth. No, not that I know of. However, there is one of the things that is guarding the gate of Eden is a flaming sword which turns every way to keep the way of the true tree of life. Basically, it's guarding the garden so nobody can get in and get the tree of to the tree of life and eat. Which, if Mike Miller might be correct, this could be a sentient sword. Which, Rick, God doesn't. Rick, you know even less about God than you do about woodworking. No, God. Where does God endorse slavery, John? No, it's sword of God, and it's a man. In how does he make you work on this planet for free? Or he created it for free, and then tells me to thank him. Actually, it's not him. You got to thank Adam and Eve for eating that thing. They added the sin nature into the element. So it's my original idea. I don't know. I mean, you can't be good if you normally eat the stuff I put my. A flaming sword of truth. As for your male and female slaves whom you have, you may buy male and female slaves from among the nations that are around you. You may also buy from the strangers suborn with you. Okay, is that him endorsing it, or just knowing that they're going to, and are these slaves quote unquote forced into it, not of their will? Because some of the slaves that you would be talking about back then would have been of their own choosing. So how many generations is God going to hold these two idiots' sin over our head? Well, see, sin entered the whole human race because of that, and so it's going to be held each person's sins. So you're now not being held for your own sins, their sins, you're being held for your sins. That was to slaves who are already owned or indentured servants, not to purposely put them into slavery by God's orders. It's to say that what you are to do. And we're slaves to sin, so I'm not sure how that means anything. How long is good God going to punish me? Till you can wipe the sins off your own life. Or you get somebody who can do it for you. Did God use the Dominion voting system? No, the Dominion voting system wasn't around back then. Why does original sin exist? Because it happened? Unfortunately, the disobedience once, just happening once, meant it was going to happen again and again. You're right, Rick. If only God knew someone who could do something about injustices. What do deadly sins do? The 7 deadly sins, what? Greed, lust, forget what they all are. Well, John, if you want him to stop everybody else's sin or whatever, just remember he's got to stop you from doing the things that you would want to do too. It's called free will. Rick, is it okay to watch the anime about 7 deadly sins? I don't know. I don't know enough about it. Yeah. see. 7 deadly sins. God is super lazy. Why did it take him 6 days to do stuff? 7 deadly sins aren't biblical? Well, I did look at. Rick ignores that one. What thou shalt not steal is biblical, however. Hey, I never said I was perfect, Raggedy. I sin. And if you're talking about how I get some things, depends on how you look at it. People have gotten the product themselves and they were putting it out for others to have for free. No different than, somebody buying a thing and lending you a book, or not that they would really do it, copying it all down and giving it to you for free. We need to get to the bottom of these non-biblical sins. Well, the 7 deadly sins aren't necessarily non-biblical. Lust is a sin. Greed is a sin. Sloth, gluttony. If you don't think it was wrong, wouldn't you be? If you didn't think it was wrong, wouldn't you be shy about? Yeah, well, just because I don't think it's wrong, others might think it's wrong, and not necessarily you guys. You may or may not. I don't know. But I know there's quote-unquote powers that be will punish you extraordinarily for it. Oh yeah, you downloaded a song. We're going to charge you $1 million for that. The teaching of the seven is a biblical doctrine. Solo scriptures. So, yeah. Well, I just more meant it in the, technically they are a bit deadly. Abomination. Rick, why does God kill many hordes of people for the sin of one person? Because one rotten apple spoils a bunch? And here comes my mom.
Technically, all sin is deadly.
True.
Romans 1 lists a bunch of them.
Yeah, I was looking at abominations. 7 are abominations. Him a proud look, a lying tongue, the hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, and see. Why is someone else's sin deadly to me? Because sin can be catchy.
Yeah.
You see one person stealing something. Oh, they stole it, so I can get away with it. Oh, this person did that, so I can do that.
Especially in lust.
Well, anything, greed or whatever. It depends on what you're prone to, too.
You
want to shut my door if you're going to be in here? But why does God kill the firstborn of Egypt when he hardened the Pharaoh's heart? I can't answer that one, Dillard. I don't know. That's probably partly due to the fact that I think I don't know how well the Ten Commandments is right in this, the movie with Charlton Heston.
It was the Pharaoh who.
Because of the 10th plague was supposed to come from the Pharaoh's mouth, and that's what he said. Please. And says, wait for what? Well, it was God that parted the sea. God told him to put the stick out over the sea. I believe. Yeah, I'm not denying that it said that. I don't know why. That I can't answer. Or what it means by that. Exactly why did he give Pharaoh free will to let the people go? Well, even with the hardening of heart, he still had the choice to let them go or not. Will Moses be able to?
Put it in the freezer.
I wanted it to drink.
Because it's warm.
Yeah, I still wanted it to drink.
By the way, look at people today. Do we obey our leaders?
Yeah, well, that's not about the same thing about hardening the heart.
Do our leaders do the right thing?
Well, yeah, well, that's a different thing. Bullet says, damn it, Linda. Let's see. Then Moses said, I will see, I have made you like God to Pharaoh, and your brother Aaron will be your prophet. You are to say everything I command you. You and your brother Aaron is to tell the Pharaoh to let the Israelites go. But I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and though I multiply my signs and wonders in Egypt, he will not listen to you. Then I will lay my hand out with mighty acts of judgment. I will bring out my divisions, my peoples, the Israel and the Egyptians will know that I am the Lord when I stretched out my hand against Egypt and bring the Israelites out of it. That could be a reason right there, just so that the Egyptians that will know that he is the Lord. Why does the Bible say love is not jealous, but God claims to be love and also jealous? Those I would say are two different types of jealousy. Okay, later sketchbook. Because there's a good form of jealousy and a bad form of jealousy. The one thing I would very much say is we do have to be careful for some words and all that, is because the Hebrew and the Greek and the Aramaic and all that, the one they, like I was saying earlier, even with the word heaven, the Hebrew has 3 words that translate to heaven, and they have different meanings. There's different meanings for the word hell, different meanings for the word love, So, are the 2 words being translated jealousy the same word and have the same meaning? That's the same.
Yeah.
Jealousy isn't always a sin. How do I explain good jealousy? How would you explain good jealousy versus?
That's hard. Yeah.
Why didn't original sin go away when God decided to reset? Or do a reset and flood the earth? Because, yes, original sin was still there, probably in all those people, because sin was still there. Noah was righteous. Nobody said anything about the rest of his family.
Yeah.
But that joking aside, they were all still sinners. Thus, God sort of did a soft reset, as Metal did for us with the game a few weeks ago. But unlike that, sin was still there. Okay, I'll be back in a sec. I gotta go to the washroom again. The game a few weeks ago, but unlike that, sin was still there. Okay, I'll be back in a sec. I gotta go to the washroom. I may be thinking, I said a good jealousy and a bad jealousy. Maybe there still is, but maybe it's not so much. Maybe it's like anger. It's what you do with your jealousy. Whether you use it to sin, because being angry isn't a sin. The Bible says be angry and sin not. So maybe be jealous and sin not? No, I don't have all the answers, and I'm not sure whether the answers I'm giving, how correct they are. It's just, me throwing out the best answers I can. God has to constantly reset stuff. Mass genocide and natural sins. Yeah, but he doesn't have to constantly reset it because of what he's done. He has to reset it because of what we're doing. It's because we are not following his plan. You should be sure of your. Hey, some of these questions I haven't thought of, Raggedy, or whatever, so I have to come up with what I think I know on the fly. What I can remember. And sometimes I say I don't know, or this is my opinion, or whatever. Or this is based on what I know, what I think I know. And maybe I'm wrong. I'll be corrected, hopefully at some point. Because nobody's theology is 100% correct. Welcome to the First Congregational Church of Christ Tolerance. The Bible says, let us come reason together. There is wisdom in a multitude of counsel, or counselors. Rick is the center. Well, let's hope not. So by God's reasoning, abortion doctors are the best. I would say no. Because they're killing. Bullet is being super aggressive, or you might not you might not want to be the center. And the doctors can easily repent of the sin of killing. Yeah, but God says, God forbid we keep on doing the same sin. We're supposed to try and stop. We're supposed to try and become holy like God is. If they continue doing it, they're not really repenting, I would say. But hey, what do I know? I don't know what's in their head fully, so. Rick should time Evan out. He's acting strange. I'm not acting. You're right. You're always strange, Evan. Rick, Evan wants me to time him out. No, he doesn't. Not here. We got some chickens. Yeah, see, this is where you have to resist the temptation. Pull it. Because you know in my chat, it's the wrong thing to do when you have the power of the wrench. Just because somebody begs you to do wrong doesn't mean you have to do it. And Evan's glad that he's temptation. No, we just beg you. Well, you can stream and you can wait for him to come to your channel and then type about there. I don't think it would be fair if God put me to the death because Obama did a census. I think you're referring to something from the Old Testament, and I think that was just for the Jewish people at that time or for all time. I'm not sure. Don't know enough about the census, the counting of the people thing. I like to smite fools. I heard that one out there. What, you don't think Evan will come to your channel if you were streaming? I think I've seen him. Haven't I seen him there before? Or maybe in somebody else's chat where you have a wrench and they'll allow you to. Rick, what about all the gold they have? Isn't that a sin? All the gold who has? Having money isn't a sin. It's when you make the money more important than God that's the sin. Did you know fools are the only ones allowed to speak the truth? Evan, fools rarely speak the truth. Why does God turn down the prayers of almost all prayer groups? I don't know. That I couldn't answer even if I wanted. Well, I can't say even if I wanted to, but I couldn't even begin to. I do know the Bible does say a fool and his money soon part. Court jesters are the shiz. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Rick, I'm just going to hide Evan on this channel. It's real bad. No, you can't hide him. Just deleted all. I already unhit him, Bullet. This has been well, this has been great. This talk and all that, and I'm glad that this Bible story stuff is facilitating these conversations. But I have gone an extra half an hour, so I'm going to end here for now. I want to thank everybody for coming by and participating. You are not the truth, Evan. That's claim is only for one. That. Okay, I can agree with that, Bullet. Anyways, thank everybody for coming by and all that. We'll catch you all later. Have a great and wonderful day. Remember tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I will be on Matthew Reese's channel. Thus, will probably not be here because that's a 2-hour show, which will mean it'll be going an hour into this. So we'll catch you all later. Remember to check out my webtoons and remember to go sign up for the Cross Comics coloring book pre-launch. So we'll catch you all later. Bye for now. God bless. Love you all. Have a great and